32-year-old Brett Robert Snow was first reported missing in 2015 in Spokane, Washington. The detectives believe that Brett had been the victim of a slaying. They found that the last active ping of his cell phone was near a home off Star Road in Newman Lake that had been searched that summer for evidence of illegal substance dealing. Despite no body being found, they charged 4 people in connection to Brett's slaying. 3 of them, Alvar Guajardo, Cheryl Sutton, and Colby Voter, were tried and found guilty by juries. Evidence and witness testimony indicated that Brett had been beaten to his end and dismembered, after which they disposed of his remains in different areas. Witnesses said that the slaying occurred after Brett had either made a bad substance deal or lost substances belonging to Voter. After they were arrested, a witness, Russell Joyce, came forward and said that Brett had been kidnapped and beaten for several days at the home, and that they had ended Brett's life when it became clear that he would pass away from his injuries. Russell was the first witness in Guajardo's trial. He was one of the last people to see Brett alive, and claimed that Guajardo took him away after the others had tied him up with a phone cord. Russell also said that in the following days, he heard what sounded like power tools being used in the property shop. After knocking on the door, Guajardo told him that they had just poached a deer. He said that he was later threatened by Guajardo, which contributed to why he did not initially go to the police. Russell was given a deal granting him immunity for his cooperation. A forensic search of the garage at the home on Star Road, which was sold to new owners in 2016, revealed Brett's DNA. Guajardo was sentenced to a 47-year prison sentence at Washington State Penitentiary in Walla Walla. Voter was sentenced to 29 years in jail at Washington Correction Center in Shelton. Sutton was sentenced to 31 years in prison, but is in the middle of serving her federal illegal substance sentence at a facility in Waseca, Minnesota. In March 2021, a 4th man charged, Kenneth Stone, took a plea deal. At his sentencing hearing, he became emotional and said to Brett's mother, Lori, "If I knew, I would tell you where Brett is." He was sentenced to 22 years. Brett's mother, sister, and other family members were in court every day. You could see tears as soon as they heard the words, guilty. While the Snow family said that they were grateful for justice, they longed to find his remains to give him a proper burial. Lori said, "Just give us a part of Brett, just a little bit, so we can give him a proper rest. It would be so much easier just knowing. I can only hope somebody would come forward and just tell us." By 2023, Lori admitted that hope for finding him was rapidly fading. Then one day, seemingly out of nowhere, Lori's phone rang. She said, "When I got that phone call, it was quite the shock. It was a phone call I did not think I would get. It was the detective who worked the case tirelessly that said that DNA confirmed that remains found in the Spokane River were, in fact, those of her son." In September 2018, a man fly fishing in the Spokane River found a small skull fragment, but DNA analysis could not be completed at the time due to a lack of resources. In August 2020, another skull fragment was found in a different area of the river. Miraculously, despite their small size, both individuals who found the fragments called the Discovery Inn, giving Spokane County Medical Examiner Dr. Veena Singh's office a chance at an identification. Dr. Singh said, "There are a lot of observant people in the area. Initially, no one suspected that the 2 discoveries were connected. They were stored as unidentified remains, just 1 or 2 of more than 20 cases. In 2022, resources became available to examine the skull fragments using American Rescue Plan Act funds. The Spokane County Medical Examiner's office sent both fragments to a lab, confirmed that the fragments belonged to the same person, and law enforcement uploaded the DNA profile to various genealogy databases, identifying dozens of relatives and confirming that the remains belonged to Brett." Lori said, "It is a confirmation he is there. They did find a part of him, so that is a good thing. It does not completely bring closure, but it is something. It is something which may never have happened without the tenacity of Dr. Singh and her team of investigators." She said, "It is so meaningful. That is what we are here for, right? The families, the service to the family and to the community. Whenever we have someone come in as an unknown, we take that as an obligation to find out who they are, to give them back their name," she added. "Everybody matters. Everyone deserves to have a name. Families deserve to know what happened to their person, and they deserve to lay them to rest, something Lori is finally able to work towards for Brett with the help of the ME." Lori said of SCSO prosecutors and anyone else who worked her son's case, "I just really appreciate everything they have done for my family.